What's going on? What's going on? What's happening? It's Bert again. I'm back with Mississippi Vibes. I'm finna speak on a topic that you know what I'm saying. It's a great topic. Um, it's about marriage. Man, marriage. You know, the commitment, the vows that's being taken between a man and a woman. Um, to me, marriage, man, I knew I always wanted it. I knew that it was something special, but I never did understanding it in the beginning. Um, it was always a joy to see, couples together, loving on each other and everything. But, when you get into it and, you going through, all the phases are over with, your honeymoon phase, your everything, you get deep down into it. Man, it's something else. So, I'm jump right in it, black men and their take on marriage. I think black men, we love marriage. I don't think that, we have the necessary tools to be ready for it, especially when you're at a certain age. Not all black men, I'm just talking about some black men, you know what I'm saying? The premarital counseling you should go through, the different steps, the questions, a lot of questions that should be discussed and answered properly for both of y'all. What's your purpose? What's your why? What's the end game? Let's talk about this credit. Let's talk about, who's going to handle the finances, the bills, and this and that. All that type of discussion needs to go on. I have some friends, some family members that's been in 20 plus years marriages. It's a beautiful thing. They have always told me, that, it's a great thing, to always have a mate, a helpmate. And so that's very important. Then to understand, for me to understand the degree of marriage, about, provider, protector, and, the leader, making sure that you are able as the man to make a final decision that's going to help your family thrive throughout the decision, after decision, good or bad, what I'm saying? We have to, your wife need to make sure that she knows that your decision is the right decision that's for the family. It's not a selfish decision. It's not a decision that's depending on is just going to be beneficial to you, or is going to, everybody's involved. You, her, and the kids. The first thing you got to understand about a marriage is, the order of God. You as the husband, the wife, the kids, and everything else that comes along with it. Black men, we love it. There's a lot of black families out there that didn't have that opportunity of being able to see the mother and father together, however it goes, to set a strong foundation. So you understand that it's going to be pitfalls and obstacles that we're going to have to deal with together, and the communication has to be the top, has to be on point. You gotta understand how to communicate with your mate. You gotta understand her love language. She has to understand your love language. So all that comes about with, communication and being able to sit down and talk things out. Um, but marriage is something I wouldn't want nothing else to be involved in, even through my not always being a provider, protector. I was very selfish. It was always about Bert, or my decision making was thrown off bad. I didn't understand it. I always, and plus I had different things that would cloud my mind. You know what I'm saying? With friends, dealing with other women. Um, it was just I was a mess, and so that's dealing with the down part of your marriage and being able to come back and are you gonna be truthful when something around your marriage, especially infidelity? You know what I'm saying? Can you be truthful with your mate? You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of times we make decisions when it's time to man up, to step up, and to be honest. We looking at it from a standpoint of, nah, I can't tell her this. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's going to, I'm not trying to hurt her. That's the excuses that we use. One of the excuses. She won't be able to handle the truth. Or whatever that's playing in your head that has nothing to do with just being. So, hey, you was out there doing wrong. Hey, it's time to step up and be a man about it. Just let's sit down and discuss this factor, because I ain't going nowhere. You're not going nowhere. So what is our solution to this problem that I brought to the family? The ups, you know what I'm saying? When, you have somebody, your partner that you talk to, y'all can laugh, um, great sex, great times, joking with one another, taking trips together, locally, out of town, whatever it might be, you know what I'm saying? That's the ups, you know what I'm saying? And another thing in a marriage that plays a big thing when you're dealing with, you know what I'm saying, trying to blend a family. That's where the communication, that's why I think premarital counseling is very, very important. So you won't think she won't think as the wife that nobody's playing favoritism to the other child who's not biologically yours. But I come from a time with my father that about one, I'm going to treat our kids, your kids, to start out as mine, and I expect the same. And sometimes I know in my, um, it was a big. I felt that the communication and action about that wasn't where it should have been, and that helped fuel my decisions of stepping out and doing anything that can be done with another woman. You know what I'm saying? If it was just conversation, that's wrong. That's part of cheating. If you have any type of conversation with another woman, you have any type of conversation with another man, that's nothing that you can have in the presence of your mate, that's a form of cheating. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't go down. So I would use that as an excuse to go out. You know what I'm saying? I would not. I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how effective communication without, you know what I'm saying, first of all, being able to express myself in a way that she will be able to understand my angle, my feelings, my anything. So, you know, my tone could could have been off at times. You know, majority of the times it you know, it was off. Um, my approach to the situation, you know what I'm saying, was, was off. So, you know, I'm dealing with all that. Then you gotta you dealing with your personal stuff that your own demons that's inside of you that you dealing with, and you trying to manage your own personal stuff that you deal with, your own life, your career, your finances, your whatever, everything that you have to deal with a day to day as being a man. So now, as the man, as the leader, you the head, but you also got to make sure when you're going through this marriage that your wife, you know, you got God first, then your wife, your kids, yourself. And my whole thing was it was turning over. It wasn't in it. It wasn't set up how it's supposed to be. You know, I was just selfish. It was about Bert this way. This the way it's going to be. You know, regardless, even as I knowing it's a bad decision that going to be detrimental to us down the road. At that point in time, I didn't care. I just wanted to be, hey, let's get this done. Let's do it this way. You know what I'm saying? I have used different reasons to not be there. Use different excuses to walk away from my family. You know, and you know, I paid a deep price for that. You know, but you live and you learn. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you go and you pray and you know you ask God for guidance and you know to try to get things back on track. You know, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. You know, but still at the same token, you need to make sure that every day you working on yourself to be a better person, to be a better man, husband, father. You know, that just that's just how it goes. That's how it went. You know what I'm saying? My own personal experiences. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you go through times. Myself and talking to fellow brothers, you know, you go through times where you regret a lot of decisions. You regret a lot of moves. You regret a lot of times when, you know, you can just stay at the house and just, you know, chill, grow your family, get to know your family, get to know your mate, get to know your kids, get to know, you know, the new kids that then came into your life as a blessing, you know, and sometimes we speeding through life and we don't understand the degree of not being there physically is killing us. But mentally, most, because your body can be there, your mind can be, and my mind used to be all over the place. Besides being where it needed to be, you know. And at the time, I was so weak minded about this situation that I was in. I was letting outside voices influence me, and it wasn't nothing. And I was going against my vows to please myself, plus thinking I'm pleasing the fellas. And the whole time at the end of the day, when everything hit the fan, the fellas wasn't there. It's about your wife. She's if you have that type of wife, man, it's nothing that you cannot go to her and talk to her about. It's nothing that she's not going to be, understanding about. It's nothing that she's not going to eventually forgive you about. It's going to, you'll go through some mud though. You got to be willing to go through mud. And that was my issue. My thing was, things don't go the way I'm thinking it should, to figure this thing out, but it's not going in the manner that feel comfortable to my heart. So I just bounced or whatever. I was a weak person. I was a weak man. I couldn't, you know, I couldn't handle this because, just, how I grew up, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing that's, it's nothing to even, when I think back on it, it's, I was just, it was sad. The moves, the decisions, what I did to destroy the structure. You know what I'm saying? And first, another thing that I want to talk to you about, the foundation has to be strong. The foundation can't be built off lies. The foundation can't be built off you hiding this, you hiding that. You have to divulge everything about yourself. If you're talking about this is your lifelong partner, if it ain't about a lifelong commitment, don't even do it. Wait your time. If she's the one for you, if you have to let her go, or he's the one for you, you have to let him go. For you, God will bring it back to you. If not, saying, that's a chance you take. That's the gamble. We gamble with life every day. That's the gamble. And but marriage is worth it. It's worth the ups and the downs. Because when you're going through this struggle, when you're going through these hard times, when you're going through these phases of you can't stand her, she can't stand you, but when it's all said and done, when you come back and sit down and communicate, y'all bond is going to be stronger. It's going to be something that's unbreakable. It's unshakable. Understand your wife's love language. Understand what moves her, what drives her, what put hers in the mood, what put her in the mood. You know what I'm saying? Most women are mental creatures. You have to make love to their mind, and everything about her body will release to you. It's not the other way around with, where I'm just gonna, have her body and her mind go come. No, it doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? I learned the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Just be ready for the journey. Then, you know what I'm saying, you have to evolve. I remember a time where, I had lost it. Everyone had left. I had to get back to the basis of writing down what I wanted and what I needed and praying over it daily. I had to get mentally and spiritually and physically back from square one. I had to start back over. And that helped. It transformed everything that I needed to transform. But still, after that transformation, I still felt weak again because I left and I didn't stick to the plan. I went right back, not right back, literally. I went months later, whatever, back to doing the same crap. It probably, didn't have to deal with infidelity. It could be deal with just, you know, not making sure that, what I'm saying, that whatever. I couldn't even think of it right then because I was so gone at that time in my life that I was doing so much of stuff to not to just dishonor, what I'm saying, my marriage and everything. It was I was just pathetic, just being real with you. But as men, we have to understand and we have to separate that life. You have to cut the other life off fully. If you're not fully ready to cut that other life off and be about your family, it's gonna end in destruction. You know, keep your family business within the family. You know what I'm saying? I even had a problem with, what I'm saying. I grew up in a family that, hey, what goes on behind these doors, we need to, we keep it like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have, as we said, I didn't have a gospel in the family. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If stuff need to be handled, it need to be handled in this household. And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Now, another thing, you got to be mindful of who, yeah, you need to have an outlet, somebody to talk to besides your husband, your wife. But make sure that person you are talking to, they can give you some sound advice. Yes, friends, yes, family members, so that you're thinking that everything that you're doing and saying to your mate is the correct thing to do. You got to have somebody that go check you. Hey, you wrong for saying that to him. Hey, dog, you can't say that to your wife. You can't do that to your wife. You know what I'm saying? You can't be hiding your wife. You can't act like as if your wife don't exist. That's destruction. There's no way you can be in a marriage or thinking about marriage and think that you gonna hide a diamond. What you do it for? What you do it for? What are you hiding? What are you afraid to yourself up to, or for the world to see, or for the world to know that, hey, this is mine. This is my prize. I was going with that. It's just so many things that I was doing the wrong way that she was still standing there because her belief in me is something she's seen in me that I didn't even see in myself at the time, because I was going through so much of stress and depression and so much of stuff that I was trying to cover up. But the whole time it was already written on the wall of what I was and what I was doing, how I was doing, how I was moving. I wasn't moving in a manner that any man who's married, who's in a committed relationship should move. You can't move that way. You can't move that way. A marriage, it's still a sacred institution between two people. It should always remain that way until the end of time. So it should never change. That should never change. You made a commitment before God that we're gonna ride this thing out. And so what we need to do is we need to ride it out. You can go in the other room, you can take a ride, you can do whatever you need to do, but at the end of the day, we're gonna bring it back to the table and we're gonna talk about it. One thing my sister Angie used to tell me all the time, regardless of what goes on with me and my husband, we never go to bed mad at each other. We need to, because it's no sense of, with her explaining to me, no sense of taking something to a new day that God has granted us, a day not earned nor deserved, that we need to take whatever this miscommunication was, because that's what an argument is. it's a miscommunication somewhere down the road. Somewhere you have miscommunicated, or your approach to your mate, or some words that you done said in a heated moment or whatever has turned this into an argument where we could just sit down. I respect her mind, she respect my mind, and we come to a mutual understanding, agreement, or we'll agree to disagree, but let's move on and put this behind us. It's not meant to 2 months or 3 months or 6 months down the road for you to come back and throw it in your mate's face. We said we don't handle this. So a lot of things just need to be discussed amongst you and your mate. Not your sister, not his brothers, not his cousins, not her, anybody. You and your mate need to have this discussion. And you make a decision on how we're going to proceed. That's it. Because I guarantee you, I done been involved in situations, man, where, you don't need to listen to him. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. But it's not your marriage. So how are you telling somebody else what they need to do in their marriage, but you're not talking about leaving your wife? You're not talking about leaving your husband. So why would you advise anybody else to do something that you're not willing to do in your? You know you're not finna go anywhere, but you would tell somebody else to leave their situation? Why? That's to me, that's cold. That's cruel. So when I go in my dark space, when I go in my closet, when I go in my time of thinking, my time, and I reflect and I be honest with myself, I do a self-evaluation. What did I do? What did I really do? I take her out the equation. What did I do? What could I have done better to communicate with her? How could I show her more love? How can I show her more passion? And so that's what I work on. That's my when I'm evolving. That's the things that I go. How can I make sure that, hey, this is the monies that's coming in. This is what I got. This is what I'm putting back for emergency times. Hey, this is what my credit looking like. This is what needs to be handled on the credit. This is what needs to be paid off. This the life insurance policies, the different communications that have to go on within a marriage. It has to be done. It has to be done. We have to stick together. We have to come together as one and remain as one. That's it. We can't let anything or anybody come through this. Because at the end of the day, it was our decision. I chose you, you chose me. And that's what it's about. It's about that. That's the choice we make. You keep God first. That's the main thing. So the main thing is that what I had to do is I had to stop being a cheater. I had to stop being a liar. I had to stop not treating her as if she didn't exist, to the world. You know what I'm saying? To the world, I'm playing this single role. But I know at the whole time, this is the only person that I want in my life. But I thought, that wasn't the man thing to do. The man thing to do, you have a chick here, you got a chick there, you running, you at the clubs, you at the strip clubs, you at all kind of places wasting valuable time. See, money can be replaced. Money, money can be replaced. Money ain't nothing. But the time that you have wasted away from your wife and kids in the long run will kill you. You can't get your time back. You gotta stop doing that wasteful spending. I did a lot of wasteful spending on food, on clothes, on trips, on whatever that I felt that I wanted to do for me. Had nothing to do with involving my maid, making sure that she was a part of these moments, making sure my kids was a part of these moments. None of that, hey, I'm going to do this, I'll be back. It's selfish. So what I have done in my life now, I have turned it around that, hey, it's about her, it's about them. I can come last and I'm good. I'm comfortable with that now. I'm comfortable being that, hey, this is what it is. This is what I want. This is what I need in life. This is what my heart desires. This is what fills me up. This is what make it my cup run over. Making sure I have that. Making sure I have her. Making sure I have our kids. Making sure I'm raising a family. So when we start as a family, that's what it is. Is a decision of a marriage and a family. That's all this is about. So yes, black men, we love marriage. We love what it's about. We just need to have the understanding of the structure. We just need to make sure that you're around positive other married couples, committed couples that can help you through hard times, dark times in your marriage, and you can go on and do that. It's going to be ups and downs, but make sure it's more ups than downs. Most downs come from miscommunication. You know what I'm saying? The treatment of your mate. My thing is, the golden rule. Treat her like you want to be treated. Most of the stuff can be handled. That's it. That's it. I know that I would never be a repeated offender of my actions again. I would never lose a situation of my wife and our kids again. I never do it. I learned my lesson. It's lonely. It's lonely when, hey, your family gone. It's lonely. It's lonely. You that's not the way it's supposed to be. That's the way you can operate. So a marriage is always worth it. Make sure, you got the right queen that's going to be your helpmate in everything that you are not. She's going to fill in those gaps for you. So y'all go move like a well-oiled machine over and over and over. Yes, it's going to be situations that occurs. Yes, it's going to be problems. Yes, it's going to be things that has to be handled. But how we going to come together and have this discussion to handle? So when we're walking out this door, we don't have to be a fake couple. We don't have to put on this facade for people. We're united as one. And that's what you have to do. That's what you have to continue to do. Every day you have to work on it. Every day you have to communicate. You in a friendship, a relationship, a love affair, a marriage, you and all those wrapped in one. When it's you and her in the family. Making sure God is leading you. We go, as men, we stupid as times. We make dumb decisions. You know what I'm saying? We do stuff that's not even, it's not like seriously. Like serious, man, you actually done that. Like, come on, come on, me personally, I just learned my lesson. You know, being alone, I say it again, being alone is not the thing to do. It's not the route, So, that's just I'm come back again, talk about it some more, what I'm saying? Talk about some steps that had helped me, that will help me in the future. So what I'm saying, I won't be unprepared, unwilling, and unable to be a leader, a provider, a protector all the time, 24/7. So I thank you for your time once again. This Mississippi Vibes with Bert, and I'm out. Peace.